Alright, so I am making a better version of my cruiser jump video for Adamance. I thought the original version was a little bit bad. It didn't go very in depth on any of the jumps, and it was kind of just me just showing off the jumps. But obviously, first thing you want to do at the start of your day is unmagnetize your cruiser. And then get in and turn it on. You're gonna then want to drive around and face this hill. Then preferably I usually get out and pull it up either as I'm walking back to turn on the magnet, or a lot of the times when I'm running back from turning on the magnet, I'll do that. So yeah. And obviously you're gonna want to then, once you feel like you've got a nice lineup, here, you can do your jump. So, in terms of lineups here, really lineups don't matter. Gonna be honest here. I will show you a lineup, just because it can be a lot easier. Obviously, if you're a lineup type of person, you like lineups, it helps you just be a lot easier with your jump. The lineup I would recommend is somewhere around here, or if you want to be a little easier, right about here is good. Right before or right on that little ledge there. Then you're gonna want to fill up your cruiser when you get here. Again though, like I said, realistically, as long as you're facing in this direction over here, you're fine. You just want to be facing this direction and have the cruiser not be like, you know, all the way over there. It should be like in this general area. I do prefer having it like here, just because it's a lot easier to get in and out. You could also have it facing this way, and then just readjust it at the end of the day before you're gonna jump to, you know, put your items here. You can put your items on top if you want. That's perfectly fine. Again, I prefer to put them in the back. Just find it to be a lot easier that way. I put my gear sometimes here, mainly just like lock pickers. Yeah, so you know, let's just imagine it's the end of the day, or it's, you know, it's 6 p.m. It's kind of late, so you've already finished clearing most of the facility. You know, you're going in, you're grabbing all your items, putting them on the back of the cruiser as you do. Like I said, if you want, you can go up here and you put your items as well. I think it just takes a little bit longer to do that, so I just prefer to do this. You can have the cruiser, if you really want to, basically directly on the fire exit, with the back of it, like, you know, facing into the fire exit. So you can just, when you get out, you immediately, like, in the back of the cruiser. It's just a lot more annoying to have to readjust at the end of the day. But, right, so, you know, it's been a little bit, it's 9 p.m., you know, you think, oh, it's you know, it's not time to go back, so you're going to set your cruiser to drive, right? You're going to make sure it has 5 boosts, of course. You're going to set her to drive, you're going to jump up to the side, and you're just going to do that. Really, though, there are multiple ways you could do this jump. That was just obviously one of the many. But the main important thing is that you do the space AW. That is the really only important thing of this jump, is that you do that jump specifically. That way you can clear the hill, and from there, you know, you could do AA, AW, and make it. You could do a ton of different combinations. It's really not a jump that's limited by, you know, a certain amount of possible things. There's a lot of ways you can do it. But yeah. And of course, you know, it's going to be a little different every time, so it's important to be able to readjust. Now, for main, you're going to want to do the same thing. You're going to want to start, you're going to demag, you want to start your cruiser, and you're going to want to drive around here. So you want to line up with that tree right there. This one. It's a little bit different in older versions. Obviously, the trees aren't going to be the same. Those trees are exactly the same, but this one is not. But you're just going to set it to drive. Ideally, you want to have that big tree in sort of the frontish, middle-ish of your windshield. And then you're going to do 2 forward jumps, 1 side jump, and 2 S jumps. And there you go. You're at main. So, at main, the way you're going to probably ideally want to park is you're going to just reverse. A little bit of maneuvering here. But essentially, you're just going to want to park up against the wall, being relatively straightish with the wall. Like this. Probably a little bit more forward if you don't want to like lock your teammates, and make it a little bit easier for them to just put items in the back, which is usually what I do. I put my items here in the back of the cruiser. So next thing you're obviously going to want to do is make sure your cruiser has some boost. So yeah, then once you're done, you're going to put your weed killer there, or wherever you want. And then obviously, let's imagine, you know, it's late, same we did with fire. You know, your teammates cleared out some main. You're getting main items, as you do. You got your items. Now here, putting them in the back could be a little problematic with baboon hawks. So it's definitely something worth considering. You might want to put them on top instead. But either way, you want to be mostly lined up with the ship. Do 2 side jumps, do an AW, and then just an S jump. And there you go. You're at main. Or, sorry, you're at ship. From main. The only thing with main jump, it can be a little finicky. It's probably the hardest one by far. But yeah, they're usually you're not going to be doing main jump, right? Because usually the strategy that at least I would employ when using cruiser here is you basically either go to main and run main. So obviously, like I did before, you're gonna do your whole thing, you're gonna turn on your magnet, you're gonna go to main. So let's do that. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, I did an extra little jump there. Also my timing was really bad. But either way, what you would normally do, I think, at least for, you know, a normal day, you get here, you fill up your cruiser, but you're not gonna jump back, right? You're not gonna jump. You're gonna fill up your cruiser with all your items from main, and instead, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna drive straight forward. You're gonna go around this turn, you're gonna go around this bend, and what you're gonna want to do is drive kind of high, like along the edge of the wall, so that you don't need to use jumps, and you should be able to get over here pretty quickly and get to fire. And then now that you're at fire, you can pick up all your items from fire and then get out. Now here oh, did I not put it in hard? Didn't it? But here I'll show you just what I mean when I say you can do this a lot of different ways, especially for fire. So like we have our cruiser like here. Not a great spot, not a horrible spot is what it is. But you can still just jump up to the side. And you can make it to magnet just the same. Obviously, that one looked a little bit more sketchy, but, you know, if you don't have the time to line up, you know, you're tight on time, it can be fine to park it with. It's not super important, but yeah. If it's eclipsed, you might have trouble, obviously, jumping. It's really hard to just jump from the ship because, obviously, as you can see here, when you drop the magnet, you're going to have this. It's going to glitch inside a little bit. And, obviously, that's not ideal. Now, another thing that I notice happens to me a little bit, not all the time, but sometimes, you'll be doing your jump. I'm not going to be mad, it's not too important here, but you're doing your jump. Right, you get over here. Sometimes, our favorite little friend, Mr. You know, Eugene and his little family, the Kiwi, likes to spawn right here on the hill. Yeah, he will just aggro on you if you land here, because obviously you're too close to his nest. So, definitely important to watch out for that. If you see bird on hill, you'll probably end up aggroing him doing the jump over here. So there's obviously the other jump you could do if you can't do that. Now this one I never really personally do. I personally just jump over that way. But I am more than aware that if you don't want to do that, you always have the possibility to just drive down here. You can just do this, right? And then instead, apparently not. Well, I guess I probably just need to do another forward jump. But yeah, you can just jump across that gap. I don't do it, so obviously I'm not really that good at it, but I am just, you know, showing that out there. I might link a video here at this point from, I believe, Hectic. He has a video. I'll link it if I see, because I do believe that it does have that jump in it. But there is another one. So sometimes when you're lining up there, I had this happen to me a lot of times. You'll find that sometimes you fall off. It can be a little bit frustrating, but the best way to get up is just to drive like here, do 2 jumps, and then just do 1 jump forward. You know, you'll be pretty much perfectly here. It just makes your life a little bit easier if that happens. But here, I'll do this one more time. If I can't do this, obviously I'll, you know, link the video to it. Out a little bit, but basically you essentially just want to go here, and there you go, just like that, or really anything along those lines, you'll be fine. Yeah, you can just jump across that little gap here, not too big a deal. If you're not comfortable with jumping the magnet, there is another way. I don't recommend this method, but it is a method if you would like to use it. Essentially, once you get up here, you can drop down into pit instead. And essentially just from pit, I usually would just go space, and then do that. AW. Sometimes you might hit this and take a bit of damage, but if you really aren't comfortable and you just want to like get up, you could do that. Or if you fall down there at the end of the day and you just want to get up, you could do this. Obviously it's not a great method because you're gonna have to drive all the way over here to the magnet, but it is a method. that you could use if you do want to do that. Honestly, that's just about all there is to say about cruiser jumping on Adamance. So, yeah.